Generation 1, where Pokemon all began. I've always wondered to myself, what are my most favorite Generation 1 Pokemon? And so I also thought to myself as well, let's make a video about it, a top 10 video. There will be a few caveats, however, though. One, there will be no mention of any shiny Pokemon since that will be of its own video of itself. Two, different forms of certain Pokemon, like Alolan and Galarian Pokemon, will also not be in this video since I can make a video of those type of Pokemon on itself. And lastly, Mega Evolutions will not be on this video because, like I said, I can make a video of that topic. Lastly, really quick, these Pokemon, their abilities and moves do play a little bit of why they are on this list or which number they are on, but not really 100%. That will also be a different video of itself of what kind of Pokemon I would put on my Generation 1 team. So with all that being said, these are my top 10 most favorite Generation or even Kanto Pokemon, starting with number 10, Gyarados. Based off of Chinese mythology, where a carp jumps through a waterfall and comes out as a dragon-like serpent, even though Gyarados is not dragon type, Gyarados and design looks amazing. I think he is well designed. The ability to have a Gyarados at kind of a low level carp, level 20, is one, a good idea by the Pokemon Company, and also just a really cool Pokemon. Granted, I do feel like Magikarp to Gyarados, if you do not know the Chinese mythology, it does not really make any sense since Gyarados looks like a serpent, and a lot of people think Dratini, Dragonair should have went to Gyarados. In some way, Magikarp should have evolved to Dragonite. But, however, I do think that Gyarados, with moveset of Flying and Water, which is twice as weak to Electric, is a really good Pokemon to have on the team, and also like just really looking Pokemon. He's a giant serpent. I mean, if you would see him popping out of the waterfall, that would be amazing but also terrifying at the exact same time. Number 9, Hitmonlee. This Pokemon I actually really just like based off of looks. He's really tall, lanky, has really long legs, and also, like, this might sound weird, but I think kicking is a lot more powerful than punching, since legs, they are pretty much the biggest bones and even the biggest muscle in your body. So I do feel like he, just with that aspect of itself, he's doing a lot more damage than his counterpart Hitmonchan. And yes, I know that Hitmonlee, they were trying to base him off of Bruce Lee, but I mean, like, that's a cool idea to base it off of, but I just like the Pokemon the way he looks. He looks like lanky, kind of a weird looking Pokemon. His head and his body are kind of a little bit disformed, and I just think he looks really cool, especially with a lot of fighting attack moves that are based around his legs. Number 8, the original trickster Pokemon, Gengar. To me, he is a weird looking Pokemon, especially when you start from Ghastly to Haunter to Gengar. Ghastly, a ball of gas, forms an actual body like with 2 floating hands, turns to Haunter. Haunter grows legs and an actual body of itself with looks like spiky hair, turns into Gengar. I just love Gengar because I love Gengar because of Pokken Tournament mostly. That game has made me realize that Gengar, he is so awesome. He's really cool looking. His moves, however, Gengar is a glass cannon ever since back in Generation 1, since really there's nothing that could go up against him. So if you did find a move that was super effective against him, he would go out just like that. But yet again, I have to give props to the original trickster Pokemon, which is Gengar. Number 7, Machamp, the most powerful fighting type Pokemon in Generation 1, all the way into, I want to say, Generation 4 and even Generation 5. Machamp, he has 4 arms, which is just, honestly, I get it, he's based off of wrestling and even a mixture of boxing, but 4 arms, that is something that's taking something that is not really that unique with Machop and Machoke and making it something that's unique to that Pokemon. Machamp has 4 different arms, so that means when he punches, you have to watch out for all 4 of his arms. Machamp has always been on my Pokemon team. He's just a powerhouse of fighting type moves. Granted, I do think he looks a little weird in Pokken Tournament. I think it's because of the kind of a little bit of how he looks based off of his color, since in the past Pokemon games and even the anime and even card game, he's more of a light turquoisey blue, and Pokken, they kind of put a lot of gray in that blue, and he looks really, really strange to me. I don't know. I mean, I'll still select him as a fighter regardless, but yeah, he just looks really, really strange and all HD-ified. Number 6, Alakazam, aka the OG Glass Cannon. Alakazam in Generation 1 was pretty much the most unstoppable Pokemon because Mewtwo was the most unstoppable Pokemon because Psychic type back then did not really have a weakness. It was Bug type, and yeah, there's no good bug types in Generation 1, to be honest. So Alakazam was pretty much a glass cannon, and Sabrina had several of them, which was kind of BS in my opinion, but anyway, Alakazam, he is based off of a psychic who bent spoons using his mind, quote unquote. Alakazam is amazing. I love his moveset, I love the way he looks. Just to focus on 2 of the spoons instead of 1 with Kadabra is just really, really awesome. When you look at him, you think, oh crap, you think this is pretty much the end of the line for you, and pretty much the end of the line for human existence. He just looks amazing. The reason why that Gengar, Machamp, and Alakazam are not higher on this list is all because of base of one thing: trait evolutions. Trait evolutions in Pokemon, I get it, were cool at the time, but yet again, it also sucks, especially nowadays, or even back then, because you need to find someone who's willing to trade you those Pokemon and then trade them back. So really, trait evolutions, I get it, it was really cool for the time, but they need to find different ways to evolve these 3 Pokemon. Number 5, Poliwrath, the last evolution to Poliwag and Poliwhirl. Poliwrath is a fighting and water type Pokemon, so I think that's really cool that it's 2 different types compared to its previous evolutions, which is just water type. I think Poliwrath is a really well designed Pokemon. He really looks like the more pissed off version of Poliwhirl, where he just looks angrier due to his eyes kind of squinting down, and he looks much more bigger and much more formed as an adult version. You do realize that like in tadpoles, the circular black on their tummy, that's like their intestine system, so in a way that's kind of like their crap pretty much. But Poliwrath, in my opinion, has always been a cool looking Pokemon. I believe you get him by using a water stone, don't quote me off that top of my head, I believe that's how you get him. But yet again, he just looks like a really cool Pokemon. He actually looks like he looks like kind of a bully in a way at a school, and if you ran into him, if he punched you, you're going flying back into lockers. I don't know, he just reminds me of like a big tough alien looking creature, which I love him so much. He looks so cool. Number 4, the only legendary Pokemon on my list, Articuno. Articuno is a flying and ice type Pokemon. I think out of the 3 legendary birds, even Mewtwo and Mew, Articuno looks the best. And I even think his typing is really unique, since there's not really that much ice type Pokemon in this game. And also he's really super effective against Dragonite, which is a dragon type Pokemon. So I do think that Articuno does have an advantage of typing compared to the other types of birds. Unless going up against Moltres, and then Moltres is kind of going to wipe the floor with it. But I feel like Articuno, design-wise, he just looks amazing. He looks majestic compared to all the other 2 legendary bird Pokemon. And also Seafoam Island, where he is found in. It's not, out of all the places to get the legendary birds, it's actually well designed, and it was actually made for Articuno compared to Victory Road for Moltres and the Power Plant for Zapdos. So Articuno overall does have a lot more going to it compared to the other 2 legendary bird Pokemon. Number 3, this might be a surprise to some of you, but I like shapes, and Starmie has a lot of shapes. Starmie is a star, of course, but yet again, it has like 2 different layers. The first layer kind of stands still, while the second layer kind of spins around. Starmie is also a water and psychic type Pokemon, which I think is a really unique typing, especially for Generation 1. And honestly, I'm someone who really likes its cry. I think its cry is terrifying, but also, I don't know why, I just like its cry. Number 2, I feel like simplicity is really important, especially in Pokemon designs. Magneton is a really simple design, with 3 Magnemites put together due to magnetic connections. And I think that's really what I like about it, is that it's 3 Magnemites put together. It's not overthinking it, it's an actual easy evolution to kind of pull off. Also, electric and steel type Pokemon are really cool typing, and of course, I do feel like Magneton has really good moves, but I do think that he's really underrated when it comes to an electric type Pokemon, especially in Generation 1. Number 1. I feel like Eevee is kind of a metaphor on life. I feel like when, as we are kids or even young adults, we're kind of normal, or we're just kind of not unique to the world yet, and we have to pick a type of evolution that we go through to become unique and to become inspiring. That's why I really feel like Eevee's 7 evolutions are really important as well, from Generation 1, 2, 4, and 6. But I feel like the original OG Pokemon, where it all comes from, plays a huge role in all of this. I do feel like I said before, it is a metaphor of life in general, of how people kind of start off not unique but normal type, and then they can go off in whatever direction that they want to and become unique to whatever typing that they want to be. Granted, that metaphor kind of is shot down because there's only certain amounts of typing that Eevee can evolve to. Where's all the other typings at Pokemon Company and Game Freak? We gotta make more. But Eevee, I think, is adorable. I think making him another part of a mascot, even for the Pokemon Company, was a really smart move. Since, like I said before, Eevee is really important to the Pokemon lore and the Pokemon universe. That's why Eevee is my most favorite Pokemon of Generation 1. I feel like Generation 1 had some really good designed Pokemon, and even just good Pokemon overall. What do you guys think? What are your most favorite Generation 1 Pokemon? Let me know down in the comments below. And until then, I'll see you guys on the next video.